Hello everyone, it is day 2 of our handmade holiday gift ideas, and today we're going to be working on a crossbody bag. So I'm going to quickly just share my video and then we will get started. Make sure you check in with me when you get here so that I can know you're here. Hi Andy, how are you? I got started a little bit. I'm not as prepared as I usually am. I don't know why I'm having a day. I think I'm just trying still to recover from being jet lagged. Hold on. Sorry, I gotta turn on Do Not Disturb. Okay. Good morning, Elaine. I'm still trying to recover from my jet lag. It's just kind of, that takes a while to get acclimated back to real life. So I've got jet lag and I'm vacation mode and all that. Good morning, Jennifer. An industrial sewing machine, that sounds fun. What are you gonna make with an industrial machine? Hope something super exciting. Hi Randy. Hi Tina. Okay, I think I'm almost there. My computer is being plenty fast today. Let's see, there we go. One more. Okay, I'm all set, I'm all shared. You're gonna make the bags. Hi Wanda, thanks, you're so nice, so sweet. Okay, so we're gonna be making a crossbody bag, and I made the strap already because if you've been here for any amount of time, you know that turning things out is my arch nemesis. So I've already done that. And I'm not going to tell you how long it took me because that's between me and the strap. Okay, that's between me and the strap. Hi Jenny. Hi Elsa. How are you? Okay, so let me just quickly go through what we've got. Oh, good morning, Kathy. So let me quickly go through what I've got going on here. So I am all over the place. Are you proud of me, Andy? I think you are. Okay, so I've got 2 pieces that are 32. Wait, where's my brain? 32 inches by 10 inches. I did 10, right? Let me just double check. Yep. 10 and a half. 32 by 10 and a half. Okay. And then I've cut 2 of those and I've just quickly rounded the top. Just using my circle cutter, I traced and cut the circle. Good morning, Stephanie. Or afternoon. I'm good. I'm good, Nordine. Okay. So I've just quickly rounded the top with my circle cutter, and I like to do this when they're facing the wrong sides together so that it's exactly the same and it's gonna just be real easy to sew. And then I've already ironed onto one side of the 32 of this big old piece. I've ironed on some interfacing, and this, I'll show you the one I used. I ripped the bag, but this is the one I used. It's just Heat and Bond fusible interfacing, and this is Extra Firm Craft. That's the style of it. So that's the style of it, is Extra Firm Craft Heat and Bond interfacing. Okay, fusible interfacing. So it's not super stiff. I mean, it still has some give, but it's going to give it a little bit of structure, but we don't need too much. I kind of want it to be slouchy, not super stiff, not real structured like some bags, kind of a looser bag. So that's what I've got. I've got that, and I've ironed it on, and I didn't do the top here, you'll see, just because I don't care that part has that much structure. So I've ironed it on to the most of my thing here. Is it hard to find? You can use any brand you want if you have just any kind of interfacing. You don't even have to get the fusible kind. You could get interfacing that hello Elaine. You could get interfacing that you have to stitches in, so you don't have to use that, the fusible kind. I like the fusible kind because it makes it easier, but if you get the non-fusible kind, just cut it so that it's even. Like you can see, I've left, maybe you can see, I've left about 1/2 inch here so that it doesn't really thicken up my seams. But you could get the kind that's not fusible and then just sew it in, so cut it to the exact size and then just sew it in. So any kind of interfacing, you could even do like a really light batting. It would give it a little bit different texture and feel than this, but whatever you can find. You could even use, just use another layer of fabric. So this is actually like a canvas fabric. So it's it's a thicker, and it already has some structure to it. So you could use a 3rd layer of canvas in the middle if you couldn't find any sort of interfacing like that. So this is the outside of my bag. I just fell in love with this. I found this one at Joann's. I just really like it. It's just a canvas. And then here's the inside. This is also a canvas. So a little thicker and stronger than cotton, just a plain cotton, like a quilting fabric. Okay, so then what I've done is I've taken, I'm gonna move you down a bit here. So I've taken my bag and I want the front of my bag to be about 10 inches. So I folded it over. I placed a fold just for my benefit. I put a fold here and I pressed it in. I pressed this fold in because that's where I want the very bottom of the front of my bag to be, because we're doing this all in one piece, so it'll flip over. So I'm just putting that structure in now. So then I want the bottom to be about 2 inches. So then I went 2 inches up and I folded again and pressed that seam, that edge in place. So it's given me something that looks like this, okay? And this will be the bottom of my bag right here. So if you want to put feet on it, now would be the time right here along the bottom. Or if you want to do like a leather, you could do like a faux leather bottom. You could put that in right now. Sew that on, just top stitch it on. I'm not going to do that, but just saying, if you wanted something like that, now would be the time to put whatever you want on the bottom, because we're going to be, the way we're putting it together, as soon as we sew these 2 pieces together, it's just going to flip over and be mostly done. So that's what I've done. So that we'll come back to that later. So now, then you're going to line these up, right sides together, and I'm just going to clip them in place. I mean, not in too many places, because I'm not too concerned about it. It's not going to run too much. Find my clips here. I've got them mixed in with other stuff. All right, there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to clip this in place around the edges just a bit. And then we need to leave a spot open to turn it out. And since we have a curve at the top, don't leave the top open, because that's a pain. That'll be a real big pain to try and close up later. So I would suggest, like, maybe in the back here, this is what's going to be the back of our bag, maybe just along the side here. So let me find an actual pin right here, and I'm just going to kind of mark with my pin where I don't want to sew. I did, because I had to steal my, I am using my box for my clips now. I just need more, and now I want to fill it up. That's the problem. It's a big box, so I'm going to fill it with wonder clips, which I probably will end up doing. I had a train of thought and I completely forgot. What we're making is a crossbody bag. I know what someone had asked. So you can see I just placed my pins right there where I'm not going to sew. That's where I'm going to turn it out. I feel like I was going to say something and I totally lost it. Oh well. Okay. I get easily distracted. So I'm just going to start here and I'm going to go all the way around using about 1/4 inch seam. Good morning, Susan. I might have to move you guys back because, okay. So I'm just using I'm back to using my 1/4 inch foot. I don't really feel like I need my walking foot for this. My 1/4 inch foot does just fine. So I'm just gonna do that like so. And ready. Hello. Okay. So these bags you could totally do in like, I don't want to say manly, but in like a gender neutral fabric. This is almost gender neutral. It's a little bit girly. And give it to Dad for, if he likes a bag, or to your brother, or whoever the male in your life happens to be. For the curves, when I like to do a nice gentle curve, and so then when I sew, I just barely am just rotating like this, and my machine does a lot of the work actually, so I'm just barely letting it go, and just barely turning here, if I see that it needs to turn, that the machine isn't turning like I should, and then when I get to the edge, then you can just pick it up and turn. The clips, are really, really awesome. I like them because they don't poke me, and for lots of projects, they work really well. I really like them for binding things, for holding things together. Some things you have to have the pins for, but I really like the clips for the most part for projects like this. The advantage, so I don't know. That's the advantages. They don't poke a hole in your stuff, which is nice. They don't poke you, which is nice because I have gotten poked many a time. All right, so now we've sewn all the way around. Before we turn it out, I want you to grab your scissors here, and we're just going to notch this curve a bit because we want it to lay nice and flat. So I'm just going to notch it, which is just like cutting little, let me cut a few and then I'll show you, cutting little triangles. And this helps the fabric kind of stretch and curve around. So you can see that's kind of what I mean. And I don't go too close to the, it's hard to see, it doesn't want to show you the thread. Don't go too close to the seam because you'll cut your thread, but you know, so leave yourself a bit. Sorry, I should have used a coordinating color thread so you could see better, because the white on the white is hard to see. So I'm just quickly notching around that curve. Just cutting little triangles. And then at the corner here, right here where the curve starts, I'm just going to trim a little bit so that the corner will turn out real nice. So just a little trim off some of that excess, just kind of in a diagonal way. So you can kind of see the stitches there, and I've trimmed off some of the fabric leading up to the, that. And then I'm also going to do the same here on these corners, just trim up the corners to take out some of that bulk so it'll turn out. Okay, let me throw that away. Okay, done. Okay. Now we're ready to, for those of you who are new, I don't have a serger. I don't use a serger. I try and my main focus has always been those who are pretty new to sewing and beginners, and most people, when you're new, don't have a serger and they're terrified of a serger. And so I try and use the things that newbies have. So, hello Marie. So I don't use a serger. If you know how to use a serger and you find a spot where it would be a great place to use the serger, please do it by all means, because I know sergers give things a really nice finish. I just don't have one, and I've always been able to get by without one. And I like to show I like to show things as much as I can without, this is not on my site yet. I'm going to put it up. It'll be up tomorrow. I had to make a hard decision about what went up today, and I'll show you what went up today, instead. So I'm just poking out my corners, now that everything's all turned out, poking out my corners. All right, and then we're ready to go back to, we're going to head here to the ironing board to press this. But first I want to show you one more thing that I didn't have ready, but I want to press as well, is I've got 4 strips. 2 of them are yellow and 2 of them are my outside fabric. So 2 of them are my lining and 2 of them are my outside, my main print. I've got 4 strips that are 2.5 by 10. That's what these measure, 2.5 by 10. So I'm just going to put a little strip in each of them, in the one strip in each pair, I guess I should say, of interfacing, of this interfacing that we had. So I'm just going to trim this up, and then when I'm at the pressing board, I can just quickly press these in. And I'm just trying to leave, I'm eyeballing it obviously, leave about 1/4 inch so that it doesn't really bulk up our seam when we turn it out. There's a little structure in this piece. Okay, and then I'm going to cut one more. That's this size. I'm going to cut all this stuff, so this out of the way. And then I'm going to iron these on when I press my seams down. So for stuff like this, and especially when you're giving gifts, like, it's definitely these little details like the interfacing and pressing after each step that really make it nice and really give it that finished, almost professional, store-bought, but not really look. Okay, so I've got this interfacing that I'm going to iron onto each of these, and I'm going to press this seam down on this one. And one more thing I want to press is this edge here that I'm going to eventually close up. So I'm just going to get it where I want it. And I'm going to clip it in place. Just try and give yourself a nice straight flat spot right there. These are all going to come off after I press anyways. Okay. All right. So I've closed up my edge here, and I'm just going to press these all the way around. I'm going to press, and I'm going to put this Let's see if you can, there we go. So first I'm gonna press the interfacing, the fusible interfacing. Make sure you've got the shiny side down or it'll really muck up your iron. Don't ask me how I know. It may have happened a few times to me in my life. You live and you learn, right? Okay, there's that one. And then this one. There's that on. My opening was about, let me measure it, 6 inches. From here to here was about 6 inches. You can do more if you're hesitant, if you want more. Oh, okay. So now I'm just going to press, and kind of like we did the other day, to get the seam out, I mean, it's really technical how I do it. I just wiggle the fabric so that I can feel underneath about where everything is to try and get, I mean, I don't want like the stitching showing, but I do want to make sure that we get it. I mean, that we've got the majority of the fabric out and it's not sucked in still. Aw, thank you, Tanya. You're very sweet. So I'm just kind of started on this curved edge. I'm just kind of rolling the fabric, wiggling it out so that it comes out, and then I'm pressing it down. So this yellow, you could go either way. This yellow could be the outside, but I really like this black and white. So that's going to be my outside. This is kind of fun. It's fun prints. I know I feel like I should be like making wintry things, but I was walking around the fabric store like, what should I do? This should be a winter bag, and I just couldn't bring myself to buy anything like wintry. I wanted fun and bright. I'm not done. I'm not done with the fun and bright. Do I have to go winter? Because I'm not gonna. So you want to make sure, this is the time when you want to make sure everything's really nice and pressed, because you're not going to get another chance to press this piece. So if there's wrinkles in the middle, even though we're not necessarily focusing on that, now's the time to make sure everything's really nice and not wrinkly. So we're just pressing around our seam. I don't know that I'll ever go winter, but good to know that I'm not. I picked up a bunch of flowery, like really floral, bright florals, and I was like, that's probably too much. Oh, it's not the middle of summer. That would be like a beach bag. So I put them down. But hey, that's kind of why we do make our own stuff, right? Is then I can do whatever I want. I get to decide. Nobody can tell me what to do. Okay, so we've got our seams. They're real nice and flat and ironed flat. And now we're going to go back to the other side. And I'm, again, going back to I remember I pressed those two pieces in. I'm going to press them in again. I'm going to press them again so then I have the line on the inside as well. Just really want to have that firmly pressed in. So we had like really cold days for like 3 days, and then it has warmed back up. So it's like it can't make up its mind what it wants to do. Okay. All right.